Hey, good morning, all. Welcome to the Common Good Podcast. It's Tuesday. I'm December 5th. Is that right? December 5th. Is that a big day for you for any reason? Feels like a day people mark for some,
I
You've
don't think
always
so.
you've always
Is
got
there?
I don't know, it just feels like you've always got a nice thing for a day. Like Tuesdays. I don't know, Whimsy's got a thing going on, or there's some birthday, or Auntie
No,
Auntie
not today.
Ellen's got a thing going.
I mean, the big thing on my calendar today is Vote Common Good podcast.
Ah. All right. Boy, and for a man like you who likes to check off a list, man,
Yeah,
you are starting this day off right.
yeah, yeah. I did have another meeting scheduled today that I sent a message to the person and said I'm not ready to have this meeting. Can we push this a week?
Good
And
for you.
thankfully, she said sure.
Very mature
Um,
thing to do
yeah,
instead of just bluff your way
yeah.
through the meeting. Yeah. Way to
Yeah,
go.
well, it was a meeting about going over our observations of several technology tools and comparing them. And
Mm. Wow.
since I have not like signed up for the free demos and
I see.
tried out these technology tools, I really wouldn't have much to say.
I see. I see. Well, I'm sorry for your loss that you're going to miss out on that fabulous meeting.
Well, I mean, I'll have it next week.
Oh, yeah. Something to look forward to. Something to look forward to. Hey, I was thinking about you the other day, Rob.
Oh,
And, you don't have to follow that up with, I hope not when you were in the shower, which I know is your favorite joke when someone says that. So, no, it wasn't. I was listening to a guitar podcast, and
hmm,
the person was just talking about nonsense, as some people do on live stream podcasts, like there's a
yeah,
topic, but then they
yeah.
spend a bunch of time blathering
Oh,
about things that don't have
just this.
anything to do with the topic.
Yes, the happy talk at the top. Yeah.
Holy moly. I mean, it's really something when people do that. And someone in the comments, because it was a video stream, said, "Hey, Jonathan, where do you get your flannels?" Because he's always wearing sharp looking flannels.
Hmm.
And he said, "Hey, I'll just tell you, friends, if you're not buying your flannels at Walmart, you're really missing out."
Mm.
And as someone who's only bought things at Walmart in my life, I think with you, other than one time when I had to buy a backyard swimming pool, I don't have a lot of
When
Walmart.
you had to buy a backyard swimming pool?
Yeah, we had a. I mean, we
Oh,
were
totally.
scrambling to find one. And had to come up with like these kind of inflatable ones, but
Yeah,
they're like
yeah.
14 feet
Yeah.
wide, and when they get
Yeah.
full of water,
Oh,
they weigh 7,000 pounds
yes,
and maybe
yes.
crush the concrete that you put on.
Yeah, oh, I totally get it. It was the we had to. It was a
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
need.
Yeah, it was multiple days of 100 degrees in a row,
Yes.
and we had a get together coming, a birthday get together. Anyway, a lot of things. I don't shop at Walmart. I don't keep
Yeah.
up on Walmart,
Mhm.
and I thought, I wonder why Rob's never purchased, because I don't see you as a flannel guy. Here's the big wraparound. And I thought about that today, thinking about you, because when we popped on here, I'm wearing a flannel, which I don't care for, this particular one, and doesn't fit me very well. But I have like 3 flannels, and I've thought I need some fresh ones. Is Walmart the place to buy flannel, or is that not something you keep up on?
Uh, I I I'm a little surprised that you don't think of me as a flannel guy. That's a little
Really?
strange. I mean, I'm a child of the
Oh, yeah,
90s, like,
for
Gen
sure.
X, you know.
I see more the bow tie kind of guy, though, to tell you the truth. Round round glasses and bow tie cat
Well, I can understand that.
than the Seattle grunge
And
look.
yeah, yeah, and um, I, we
Okay.
typically have a don't buy clothes at Walmart rule.
Oh,
Just
okay.
feels that. I mean, that being said, I mean, yeah, get underwear and socks at Walmart if you want
Oh,
to, but
sure.
like,
Not outerwear? No, no,
fashion,
no
like,
outerwear for you?
yeah, nothing that anybody's gonna see.
Nothing front
Uh, you
facing?
know, yeah, we
Huh.
we buy like Whimsy's play clothes at Walmart,
Oh, wow. Okay.
but
Well, it says a
yeah.
lot.
Now, that being said, there is a Walmart here locally, and because Walmart headquarters is here, the Walmarts in our area are really nice because at any moment the CEO of Walmart could walk into your store, and
Yeah.
they all operate that way, kind of with that sense. But so they have Walmarts here that they use to test new ideas.
Mm.
Like we had, I know you're a big fan of self checkout. We had self checkout at several of our Walmarts here way before anybody else did because they were testing it. Um, and so there's a Walmart here that it's actually a Springdale Walmart that they test clothing products, and
Oh boy.
they have partnerships with the Gap and Reebok, and it's like justice for kids clothes. So they have like really upped their game
Mm.
in terms of clothing. That would probably be the only Walmart I would buy clothes at.
Well, let me just say, Jesus has a birthday coming. So if you're thinking about picking up something for your friend Doug in honor of the birthday, um,
Yeah.
maybe I'll send you some
Oh,
photos of what's available to
I
me.
already have your Christmas
Well,
present planned.
so
We were this morning. Yeah, we were Vanessa and I this morning went to breakfast at Susan's, which I've taken you to, our favorite breakfast place.
yeah.
Had a blueberry pancake and sausage. It was fantastic.
Okay.
And then we ran into Walmart after that to pick up a few groceries. And as we were walking into Walmart, I said, "Hey, I think I know what I want to get Doug."
Wow.
And I told
Wow.
her, and she was like, "You're an idiot."
I love it. Well, as encouraged as I am about that, I now feel like, boy, do I need to put the Ryerses on my Christmas gift buying list. I'm glad to do it.
You don't. I might.
Just don't want to come empty handed to the time when we meet
Yeah.
on or around Christmas.
I might need. I might end up. Seeing if some people in the group chat want to kick in. And
Okay. Hey, why were you guys at Susan's on a Tuesday? That's is I when I keep track of the Ryerses, family bed snuggle time over Thanksgiving,
yeah.
it's always a Saturday that I have
Well,
marked
it's
for you being
yeah.
at
Yeah,
Susan's
it's either Saturday
diner.
or it has been Wednesday.
Oh,
Vanessa's been in training to be a hospital chaplain, and
okay.
is finishing her fourth unit of CPE, chaplain
Mm-hmm.
pastoral education, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it
Yep.
stands
Yep.
for. Um, and she a couple months ago got a job as a uh, a chaplain at the hospice facility that's run by our hospital. And last week on Monday, and listen to this, on Monday, she got a call from her boss saying, "Hey, we're going to open up a position. We'd like you to apply for it. Send over a resume." Um, so she did that. This is for her boss, the trainer at the CP, the head of the chaplain at the hospital. So Monday she sent her resume. Tuesday the job was posted online. Wednesday the HR department called and offered her the job.
Excellent. And she
Yes.
just got it. She just got a thumbs up from me on the screen there.
Yes, yeah, I saw that.
Wow,
So
that's
it was
impressive.
yeah, so yeah, it was pretty much they had created the job for her and went
Uh-huh.
through all the
Well, don't
the
let the other chaplains find out about this commentary.
well, yeah, that's right.
Someone's got
She's
to have a look into the job position. They're gonna
yeah,
hit that with
yeah.
podium style,
Yeah,
insider
and
investigation.
so because of that, her schedule is all crazy, and so last night she's got to work today and this afternoon into the evening, and so last night she was like, "Hey, let's go to Susan's tomorrow." I said,
Wow.
"Great,
Oh,
let's
lovely.
do it."
A little celebration. Well, great.
Yeah,
Congratulations. I'm sure she's the
yeah,
right person for the job.
absolutely.
Hey, how's the weather over there? What's it looking like in
Sunny and chilly.
sunny and chilly in Arkansas? Huh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How's the weather
Cloudy,
there?
cloudy and cold. Half an inch or inch of snow or something came overnight.
Mm.
No one I know was expecting it, and now I need to go out and push the snow around with a shovel and get it off of my driveway. But I got a bunch of podcasts to be doing today. Whole bunch of stuff. Hey, but I did want to show you something. I have this mobile roaming cam, so hang on a minute, everybody. Just hold your proverbial horse. All right, so in my little office, Rob. So that's the way it looks. What I have
Yeah.
going now, this will tell you something about how the weather is. Down below my desk is my dirty cords. Down below my desk is my little foot heater.
Yeah.
Up to 150 degrees. I think you can read that. But that's what it's come to now. I'm now at a point where I have to put my feet, because I don't wear shoes in the house, put my feet on a heated pad.
Yeah.
The classic old man, right? Like
Yes, I love it.
let's get a heating pad for my feet. But I'll tell you, friends, if you live in a cold climate and you ever sit somewhere for a long period of time and you don't yet have a little snuggly heating pad for your feet,
Mm.
makes a great holiday gift. So happy holidays, everyone.
It's
All right.
not what I'm getting you.
That's not what you go. Well, good. I'm glad because
Because you already have one. You don't need another.
I don't need another. But I'll tell you this: I've owned 3 of
I,
them
I'm,
in the last
thank you
4
for
years
putting on this. Yeah,
because
thank
they
you for
burn
putting
out.
on the screen these, someone body shaming me
Yeah.
in the comments.
No, Rob's not putting on weight lately.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you, Carol. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all listening. And good morning also from Tampa Bay. 46 degrees in Tampa Bay. Hey, let's just keep it
Hey,
above 32 down there, Alex, because none of us
yeah,
need that. None of us need that orange crisis that we had years ago when all the citrus froze. That was
this is true.
that was concerning for a lot of people. And to Jim, good morning to you from another beautiful day in Ventura, California. Hey, Rob, lots happening since we were last together last Tuesday. I mean, Kevin McCarthy is still not the Speaker of the House. Just want to bring that up as a sense of enjoyment. But speaking of people that are not any longer in their role in the House of Representatives of these United States of America, our cat, our buddy George Santos,
Yeah.
out on his ear. It happened. They actually did it. And I heard a commentator say yesterday when they were complaining about how the Republicans want to keep up the impeachment against Biden, and they were like, okay, less than a year ago, it took them 15 votes to get a speaker who now is out. It took them another 15 days or 21 days or something to get another speaker. They just had a vote to expel one of their own members. And their big concern
For
is
the third time.
a third vote.
A
third vote. And their big concern is maybe we should impeach Joe Biden. I mean, honest to Pete, it's just not even a commentary one can put anything but just nonsense around. But did you see that George Santos yesterday launched a Cameo account?
I did see that.
So, friends, if you're not familiar with Cameo, Cameo is a system by which a person can ask for a celebrity to make them a personal, private, not private, but well, it could be private, but a personal video. And you pay them some amount of money per minute, a couple $100 or something, and you send them, hey, I want this to be a birthday greeting for my podcast host friend, which you should totally give me a George Santos. Congratulations
Doug,
on
that's what it is.
such a great podcast. Is that true?
Doug,
Is that truly what it
that
is?
is literally what it is.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Literally what it is.
We have become one.
Yeah. Vanessa and I were talking about George Santos, and I said, I want to get Doug a George Santos cameo for Christmas.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for ruining this. I had, of course, I had no idea. But that conversation about a gift,
Yeah.
well, to pretty much anyone that we know, that would be. I mean,
Oh.
my gosh. So honestly, friends, this
Now,
works.
we have a friend whose parents got
Yes.
him a message from Sarah.
He got his parents.
A message from Sarah Palin on Cameo.
Yeah, and we watched it. It was very long and very personal, and her roaming around her house with her phone in her hand, I think, or maybe sitting. I can't remember. I have many memories of this, and saying to his parents like, "Hey, Gail and Randy, just really want to wish you a great time up from up here." And I mean, unbelievable. That thing that you can get a celebrity.
Oh, Cameo is the best
to do it. Yeah, we should start. I wish I had the kind of just, silly money that you could just throw $150 at stuff and just be sending friends nonsense like this. It would just really,
Oh, so
really cheer me
fantastic.
up. So anyway,
Yeah. So yeah. So we it remains to be seen how much, as they say, of the tea George Santos is going to spill about his Republican colleagues, his former colleagues in the House of Representatives. He's already lashed out at one of the Republican Congress people. Um, Kind of talking about how he's a drunk and he doesn't show up to work and his staff all quits, and shared some video of him threatening a former staffer or something, and trying to rile that up. He's made claims of insider trading, which, come on, we know Congress people do that. So it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see if George Santos is going to go on the scorched earth tour, and try to you know bring others down with him, Samson style.
especially
Yeah,
before he's convicted of the crimes for which he is indicted. Uh, you know, you
yeah,
really want to do that before you have an ankle bracelet on or before you're checking into the local federal penitentiary or
yeah.
state
When you
state
lose
prison.
access to your phone.
Yeah, yeah. You want to get moving on that if you haven't done that yet as you put together your Cameo studio at home, uh, George. Hey, Rob, I was shocked to see this headline. Um, and in news feeds, I use the Apple News feed among others. I
Yeah.
think it curates news based on your particular choices and
Hmm.
preferences.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've
Yeah.
never. My wife has it on
Much.
her phone. I've
Yes.
never opened our phones at the same time to see. I should do that
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
see, like, do we see the same news stories in the news feed? Um, but this one came up, and again had me thinking of of you for some reason. It was in the readers' favorites
Yeah.
section, brought to you by
Yeah.
the AARP, the American
I.
Association for Retired Persons, of
Yeah.
which,
I'm not a fan of this at all.
and the headline
Um.
is "Why Gen X Isn't Having Sex." When I saw the headline, Rob, here's what struck me. I was a youth pastor for a very
Yeah.
long time ago. And
Hmm.
the kids that we were reaching and the young adults in the college age were Gen Xers. They used to be the Gen Zs and the Gen Ys and the millennials of, interest that apparently now are people in their 40s and 50s. Um, and I'm in this generation
Hmm.
of Gen X. And I kind of thought, well, hey, mission accomplished. It took us a while, but we really worked hard back in the back in the day.
Purity culture come, like, finally,
They worked back in
finally.
the day to keep those Gen Xers from having sex because it could just, it can be. There's a lot of things that go into somebody, being sexually active when they're a teenager. So it took us to their 50s before uh, uh, Gen Xers not having sex, and I thought, it's like a generation for whom every day is a holiday at the Ryerse house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Thanksgiving holiday.
Uh, Yeah, this is a deeply concerning article on a number of levels. One, Gen X doesn't like having articles written about them. We are used to being forgotten. We are used to being left out. Please don't bring us into the spotlight. Number two, Gen X and AARP.
Uh huh.
Really,
Uh huh.
really, we're there.
Right there,
Oh,
snuggled right up.
oh.
Hmm.
Then there's the content, just the content of the article. Why Gen X isn't having sex? I don't. It could it be that we're in our 50s and we're tired? Like we finally gotten to the point where we'd rather sleep at night. It might be. It's just like
Used to help
I
you
don't
fall
know.
asleep. Now it keeps you up with worry.
Oh,
Yeah.
seriously. And then thirdly, or fourthly, or fifthly, whatever it might be, what's up with the picture in this? Like,
Yeah.
for those who might be watching this or not, or listening online, the picture, the graphic that goes along with the story is, it appears to be a bed floating in the ocean
Sea of
all by
emptiness.
itself.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, there's no one in the bed. Why isn't Gen X having sex? It might be because they fell off and drowned.
That's
Like, I
right.
mean, what is the, like, like, what? Like, I mean, my parents had a water did your parents have a waterbed, Doug?
No,
My
no, my
parents had a
my sister had a waterbed, so I grew up
my
with a
parents had
waterbed
a
in our
yeah.
house.
Oh, what a weird, weird thing. My parents had a waterbed, um, which is just bizarre when I think about that. Actually, I don't wanna think about that.
Mm,
But, this is taking waterbed to a whole new level. It's there's just so much disturbing
yeah,
and disconcerting about this article.
this whole
Did you
story.
read the article? What's the reason?
I
Why
didn't. I
isn't
didn't.
Gen
I
X
could.
having
No,
sex?
I didn't care. I didn't care. I just thought the headline that it's talking point is an
Yes.
entire thing because it really pulls forward for you and I in our age demographics, but also sort of just the reminder of where we are in things. We just did a training last week on Thursday, a fantastic training on the threats of Christian nationalism. We did it in Holland, Michigan, a place that's experiencing a hostile takeover of their county commission in Ottawa County by Christian nationalists. And there were a couple hundred people, maybe 300 people at this training that we did, and most of them were old. Uh, and some people were like, "Oh man, great crowd," but see how old everybody was. I'm like, "Yeah, so what?" like, I, it's just again. I mean, I spent a lot of years as a youth pastor and others just saying to people like, "This whole generationalism business is just silly nonsense."
Yeah.
When it
Yeah.
comes to
There
politics, you really do want to get if old white Republicans in West Michigan are turning against Christian nationalism, that's better news than having a room full of young college people who are turning against Christian nationalism because you would suspect that that might be the case. It's
yes.
it's the older ones. So there's some value to that conversation. But the generational business just overall is
Yeah.
exhausting to me. I think it's utter and complete nonsense. And
Yep.
I have a degree in cultural anthropology and did my research project on the integration of friendships among high school students. So I think thought a lot about all this stuff. There's nothing more inaccurate and silly time than anyone talking about generations, no matter what. Someone tells you, I'm gonna get front focused. If anyone tells you that there's a generational reason why the kids or the older people are acting in some particular way, just know these are people that are not connected to the reality of the motivation of behaviors. It's not, no, it's not because we're latchkey kids, Rob. It's not because we watched the shuttle blow up. It's not because we had Velveeta as kids. Like, it is just such complete silly business that when I saw the headline, I thought, well, okay, why is Gen X not having sex? Holy moly. Just downright ridiculous.
Um,
My 2 bits
yeah.
on a great headline and a great graphic.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So apparently, the answer to the question for those of us that are, that want to know, and because as we Gen Xers know, the more you know,
Oh, yeah.
um, and knowing is half the battle. Physical changes due to menopause or health issues such as high blood pressure and diabetes can wreak havoc on the libido.
Oh my gosh. Failing health for Gen X stops libido.
Basically, you know what? Gen X apparently is like every generation before it, that the older it gets, the less sex it has.
Wow. Do you
Isn't
think
that
it's
a thing?
true for
It's a
even
thing.
the kids born between 1964 and 1980? Do you think it's even true among that group? Wow, that's shocking.
Yeah,
Well, they were
I know.
born at a different age, my friend, and they grew up with television or the internet or their
And
music. I mean, there's no way they don't think the way we do. Let's have a meeting. I'm going to get silly. Let's have a meeting and call in a bunch of people and figure out how we can think about the way the kids think about things. Because, they've never seen. Now, name a technology that they no longer know about and a new technology that they're familiar with. And that tells you everything about why they're different. And go ahead and tell me that it's different for the kids that are now on screens, too, by the way. Oh, this is a screen generation. And these kids on the screens, they're going to be so totally different. You know what? The deep psychological issues that drive humankind can be tracked at least through 5,000 years of recorded human history and probably 12,000 years of oral human history. it's pretty wash, rinse, and repeat. And this idea that somebody grew up with an airplane or a car or their phone was on their wall or the phone is in their pocket, and that is enough to have changed the entire thing. And if we don't figure out how to reach these kids, I mean, it's just okay. And
And and
Amer and yeah, I'm one of those yes and people. Uh, and this has been proven over 180 years of recorded history in the United States. There's this great writing from Abraham Lincoln about how the kids of today are just not made of the quality that they need to be to carry the republic. Truly, honestly, every generation has some dire the next batch of kids. So, yeah, I'm with you. Maybe
yeah.
people, when they hit their 50s and 60s, their libidos change. I don't know. But in my news feed, it was a worthy story and great for at least 11 minutes of conversation here on the Common Good podcast. Um, uh, and Kimberly's bringing up the fact that there was a telephone booth that used to exist outside of her, where her and her child would go, and they'd never seen a telephone booth before. I mean, Superman stories must make absolutely no sense to those kids. So I don't know how they're
Exactly.
ever. I don't know how they're ever
Yep.
gonna. I don't know how
Yep.
they're ever gonna function.
Yep. Yeah. My friend was telling me the other day that his teenage son asked him what MTV was,
Hmm.
and and so that led to a discussion about to explain MTV, he had to explain cable. And to explain cable, he had to explain like broadcast television and antennas because like none of it made any sense to his son.
This is an uninformed child. There are people on my street that still have aerial television. This house has cable TV running into it. These are
Yeah.
not. This is not a butter
These are
wheel. This is, I,
not
I, I mean, this is the kind of stuff where people are like, I mean, these kids, what kind of world are they going to grow up in? They never knew MTV. They're watching TikTok. They're watching music companies produce videos and push them to them on a screen. And you think the big difference is, yeah, but I had to like come home after school and sit down and wait for the video to come up, and they get to call it up on demand. I mean, how are these kids? I don't even know how they walk as bipedal creatures any longer. I mean, it's just totally different. Oh, I can, when we're on a long and lonesome highway somewhere east of
Yeah.
Omaha,
Oh, can't wait.
on the bus tour,
Yeah.
I've got I mean, I'm only getting started on an entire rant about
Oh, I
generationalism
cannot wait.
and the boondoggle of money that is raised by people telling us about. I mean, I saw it today, literally saw it today on Morning Joe. People setting their hair on fire because the 18 to 29-year-olds are not voting in the 18 to 29-year-olds. As if, a 42-year-old and a 22-year-old are just so legions apart. And we got to figure out, how do we
Yeah.
figure out the 18 to 29-year-olds? Because if we say things that we're going to say to the 39 to 59-year-olds, it's probably not going to work. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it,
And it's
it's a
not
real problem because it's not just a marketing problem. It actually exists in people's brains as if they think children, young adults, teenagers, 29-year-olds are different. They're not. They're not
yeah.
different.
And
Stop it.
it's not like 10 years ago 18 to 29-year-olds had an amazing like at a 95% voting rate and it suddenly plummeted with a new generation. It's a little bit like why Gen X isn't having sex. It's because they've gotten older.
Yeah.
Um, People from 18 to 29, they just don't
Don't.
pay as much attention to
Yes.
politics
Yes.
because
Yes.
of a variety of reasons. And it's always been that way, and it's likely to always be that way.
Amen. All right. Hey, I saw a little bit of good news the other day, and it came from an
I mean,
unusual.
beyond A, George Santos being out of Congress, and B, the pressure of having to have sex being over.
Yeah. I mean, the days are just getting brighter and brighter. It's like we've already reached December 22nd. It's a Fox News host following up a Donald Trump speech. We showed
Mm,
this yesterday in the Red Hat, Blue Hat
yeah.
conversation. And I thought it's worthy of showing here again because the Fox News host, cuts into Trump's stuff as they transition to another feature on the Fox News Saturday, and said this.
Mine will. And then,
Sorry, you have to listen to Donald Trump for 10 seconds.
Well, the former president finally got around to some campaign promises amid lots of cheering, as you heard. Many untruths. The 2020 election was not rigged. It was not stolen.
Donald Trump got around to some campaign promises, many untruths. The 2020 election was not rigged. It was not stolen. Fox News, straight to the heart.
I think
Look at this.
losing lawsuits to Dominion, whatever the name of technology, will do that to you. Oh, we don't want to give any impression at all that there was some kind of, you
Focuses the
know,
mind.
like no,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't come.
Yeah. And just the whole many untruths. I mean, I appreciate it that they're just I mean, there's another word for it that's not as long and clumsy as untruths.
Yeah,
I don't know. It
yeah,
doesn't
a little bit
come to
more
mind right now.
common. Yeah,
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 it lies somewhere just outside my memory
yeah,
that they could have used.
yeah.
That's a bit more common than many untruths. Um, but hey, good on them, right?
Mhm.
Like as we're starting to ramp up, um, good for somebody at Fox being willing to say things that we all
Yeah,
know
do you
is
know who that anchor is? I don't watch Fox enough to know who the anchors are.
no, no, just a nameless face on my TV screen
Mhm.
or on my tablet because I can stride both generations. I have both a smartphone and cable. I'm real bidextral when it comes to all this. Hey, which also means, Rob, that the debate is happening tonight or tomorrow. Is it
Oh,
Wednesday?
goodness.
Wednesday debate? Might be Wednesday. And we're down to 4. Uh, you know what? When I put together what's going to be on the screen here, we use this little system called Ecamm, and you have these scenes, and they're entitled. They have a title on them. This one's called Debate, so I can see what it is. You know what's going to be in there. I titled it Debate, and I realized we've had a debate one for like the last 5 weeks. It's been pretty great, and each time there's, as it should be, less people on the debate stage.
Fewer.
Last time was. Thank you for that. Did you correct my less versus fewer?
I did.
Oh my gosh, let's
Yeah,
talk about that. Good one.
yeah,
Go
it's
on.
fewer.
Give me your
Yeah, what
fewer versus
I
less bit.
fewer is, when it's a specific number, it's fewer, like, you use fewer. When it's, like, a more generic or non-specific amount, then you use less. So it's like I have less water in my cup, but there are fewer candidates in the debates.
Wow. So if I said I have 3 ounces fewer water in my cup, would I say it like that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I
Yeah,
like this. I like this a lot. I'm going
yeah.
to add it to my repertoire of.
I'm sorry. I did it just
No, I 100% agree with it. Hold off on that Christmas gift. Your giving is over the top.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'll have
We were just
George
having
Santos talking to you about grammar.
a conversation with our adult kids about this and what words are used because our grandson said, um, "Oh, sorry, I had to itch my face."
Oh, love
So
it.
I waited about 20 minutes
Yeah.
before I said,
20.
"Itch is a sensation. To scratch is an
Yes.
action.
Yes.
So you can feel an
Ex
itch and you perform a scratch."
Yes.
And people were like, "Oh." And then we got into the theys, theirs, and theirs. And then we got into
Yeah.
the twos. And then we got into
Yeah.
the borrow from and lend
Yes.
to.
Yep.
borrow from and
Yeah.
lend to. Man, if I had had less and fewer at the time, that would have just topped it off.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would
And
have been the
yeah, for sure. And the one that I've got now that bothers me a lot is myriad. Myriad is an adverb like many. So you don't have a myriad of
yes,
something, you have myriad something.
yes.
It
Mm.
uses an adverb or an adjective, but you have myriad stories to talk about on the podcast, not myriad of stories. You don't have a myriad of stories. You don't have a many of stories. You have
Yes.
many stories, myriad stories.
I will say one of the groups, whether it's Webster's Dictionary or the Chicago style of grammar, a few years ago declared that myriad of is acceptable because it's a
No,
colloquialism. Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah. There's a whole
This is
story.
yeah. See, this is this is
Somebody,
the problem
uh-huh,
with uh
with Generation Y
yeah,
or
that's what I was gonna
millennials.
say with Generation Y. I was actually hesitated to think, what's the letter that comes after
Yeah.
X?
X, Y, and the
X,
Z. And then we got to
Y,
M
Z.
for
Yeah,
millennials. And then we
yeah,
got
yeah,
to the now generation. So,
yeah,
yeah, that's the
yeah.
problem with that. I'm sure it was, or it was done by the boomers
Oh,
or
everything that's wrong in the world is because of the boomers.
the boomerangs, the kids that came after them. Hey, anyway, okay. So there's less people on the stage come tomorrow night or tonight, whenever the time comes, because this is, you know what this is, Rob? This is not a bow tie podcast with its fancy round glasses. This is flannel. This is flannel wearing, street talking. Kind of. I'm going to itch my face, and there's fewer. I'm going to itch my face, and there's less people on the stage uh, than there was before. And we're going to search it up. Thank you for that, Kimberly. We're going to search it up and find out if myriad of is an option.
Yeah.
Hey, the fact that there's 4
Yeah.
was so depressing to me last night when I thought of all the people who identify as Republicans, all the people who are in public office. There's currently 4 of them challenging Donald Trump for the nomination. And one of them is Vivek Ramaswamy. And the other one is Chris Christie, who the two of them might just be squeezing into getting the 6% of popular support that's needed by the rules of the Republican Party. And then we're down to Nikki Haley
Who's qualified to be president?
and Ron DeSantis.
Who's also qualified to be president?
Technically, he's qualified.
I'm just saying on qualifications alone. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying not like when you look at somebody's resume and they were a congressman and then the governor of one of the largest and most influential states in the country, absolutely qualified to be president of the United States. When you have been, I'm not talking about whether they should be or shouldn't be. They all like Chris. The only one on the stage who's not qualified to be president of the United States is Vivek. The rest of them are. Nikki Haley, especially. I mean, secretary or UN ambassador, governor of South Carolina, absolutely qualified to be
Yeah.
president of the United
Pedigree.
States.
You're describing pedigree, like somewhere between technical, like they're of 33
Yes.
years old and born
Yes.
in the States. Not that. And you're not talking about, are they desirable? It's in
No.
that space somewhere where that pedigree looks about right.
Yeah,
But I
you're
would just
looking
add that
you're looking at a resume.
but your resume has to also go with some level of general
Sure.
performance.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying, like,
I
yeah.
would give it to Chris Christie and Nikki Haley. I just think even the way, the poor performance of Ron DeSantis as a congressperson and as governor.
Sure. Yeah, but
It's
he's
just
really good in his in
White
his
boots.
heightened boots. Um,
His heightened
did you
whiteness.
did you watch the Ron DeSantis Gavin Newsom debate?
I didn't. No, I saw a
Did you
couple
catch
of
any
little
clips or
clips,
anything?
just the most brief clips sent to me
Yeah.
by Trump supporters who are,
Really?
yeah.
Trump supporters who were happy that DeSantis got destroyed, or
Well, that's not the way
were
they pitched it, but yes,
yeah,
they the one where DeSantis holds up the map of San Francisco. That's where feces have been found in the city of San Francisco. That kind of stuff.
yeah.
The ridiculous. Um,
Uh,
did you watch it or did you see any clips?
oh yeah, the clips are fantastic. I saw clips. It's
Well,
interesting
let's go
how
right to it.
Re-
The very bad
Republic
week for Ron DeSantis. Okay.
yeah, Republicans really thought DeSantis did well, but come on, he got utterly destroyed by Gavin Newsom. Now, I mean, and I'm on record saying that Gavin Newsom will be the Democratic nominee for president in 2024. Gavin Newsom began with a fantastic. I don't. Did you see the beginning? Did you see
No,
his
no.
opening? Gavin Newsom began by saying, "Listen, tonight we're gonna talk about the things that we differ on, our different visions for America, the different approaches we've taken in leading our states, our different it's going to be about our differences. But as we get started, I just want to point out the things we have in common. Neither one of us is going to be our party's nominee for president in 2024."
Wonderful.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Gavin Newsom was really good.
Wonderful.
I'll tell you, the danger with Gavin Newsom is he can be a little condescending, a little preachy, a little like tisk tisk. Um, and I think that's something he's going to have to tone down as he moves forward with his political career. Um,
Did
Barack
they?
Obama had Barack
Yeah.
Obama had a little bit of that, and Barack Obama came off as like a professorial. Gavin Newsom comes off as a little prickish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you. Did
Was
did they
that
get into the
he
fact
was
that
married to
that
Kimberly Guilfoyle.
he was married to her, not just dated her?
I don't know.
They had
I
legal
think so.
attachment. I didn't
I
know.
think so.
Um, did they bring up the time when during the pandemic Gavin Newsom went and had that party at that very wealthy restaurant and ate inside there? Did that come up?
I don't. I didn't watch the debate. I just
Oh.
saw some clips.
Well, Kimberly says she watched it. So Kimberly, if you happen to remember, I'm just interested if that is still a holdover. Like, look at this hypocrite shutting down the state, and then he, that whole thing. I wondered if that still had some impetus for it. Well, that's a pretty great line. Neither of us are going to be the nominees of our party. And of
Yeah.
course, the reason that comes up, as we all know, is because there's people who want Joe Biden to be a chosen one-term president, and then for a Democrat to follow him in
But I
victory.
am not having a good day in the chat. People are like, I don't know. I
Hey,
don't know
don't
what.
read the comments, man. Don't read the
Seriously,
comments.
yeah. I wrote a book with with the a chapter title about that. Yeah, there's an OG's Geesh, and then a Rob. Come on, I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
that might not be a OG for you.
I think it might be.
That's right. You can step in front of every comment if you need to. Yeah, that's right. Hey, DeSantis is having a very bad run. The
Yeah.
conversations that I'm hearing from Politico types is, can he hold it together through New Hampshire before he drops out, or or will he choose to not have the people of Iowa and New Hampshire tell him no? Will he take the road of, I'm suspending the campaign on my terms, not on the fact that I came in fourth in Iowa out of three viable candidates, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
I,
this particular story says that the Florida right wing supporting blog that is the DeSantis Boost machine is also going out of business. I mean, the shine is falling off of this fella so fast. It's It's really something. And look, and to your point, he did win election in a big state twice, and that's true and legitimate and a real thing, and doesn't mean that he's competent to be the governor of said states. But he was elected, and so he's got that going for him.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
nice.
it hasn't been a good time at all for Governor DeSantis. I don't know, Doug, did you see Pete Antonacci, Governor Ron DeSantis election fraud office director and former Broward election supervisor, lay dead or dying in a governor's office hallway for 24 minutes before anyone came to his aid.
The man died at work, and he
Walked out of a meeting that I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, walked out of a meeting with Ron DeSantis and died in the hallway and lay there for 20 minutes before anybody came to him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Miseries galore around that world. Ron DeSantis.
So do you think do you think Ron DeSanctimonious is going to is going to stay until New Hampshire, or does he bow out before?
Well, I think he'll bow out before. I really do think that he's going to read the tea leaves and try to save some reputation, which you're better off getting out early than coming in third in the actual balloting. Like if you're trying to uphold a reputation someplace. So I don't know. I could clearly see him get out. And look, and then Nikki Haley, who might come in second in Iowa, and she doesn't win the nomination, she is not going to turn on Trump. She's not going to like run as a third party candidate somewhere. She's not going to continue to advocate that he not get anywhere near the White House. She will pivot immediately, get behind Trump, and seek to become his vice presidential candidate. It's heartbreaking to see it, but there is no doubt in my mind that she is politically motivated enough and does not think Donald Trump is a hazard to the well-being of the planet and everyone who lives on it if he's ever president of the United States again. She will jump right in. And so will DeSantis, right? They will all just fall right in line, and you will see them standing side until Donald Trump drops out, because they also believe that he may not make it to the ballot in November for a variety of reasons, and they're waiting to swoop up his people, and they don't care about anything else that they think Donald Trump is a victim or is a threat to. So, it's just wow. And in the meantime, Biden's out running around doing Biden stuff, trying to get his kid to pay him back for his car loans, private car loans that he gave him.
Yeah.
And
Like
all the
every
rest of
parent. I mean, what's more relatable than that? Trying to get your kid to pay you back. Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah. But here's the difference. Like maybe Hunter Biden couldn't get car loans because of his legal problems that were connected to his addiction and so on. I don't know. But it was, for such a buddy family that seems to be like, hey, we're going to write up this car loan. Like, I'm not giving you money to buy that truck without a contract. Like there's something somehow equally ruthless. And they kept it, like they got it around, and here's a canceled check that goes with it. If you don't know what we're talking about, friends, there's the new scandal on the get Hunter Biden's bank records to prove that there's a crime family conspiracy of the Bidens, and that's something big within the red hat wearing part of our country. The new thing is that there's Hunter Biden wrote his dad checks, and they're saying this is money laundering, and they're like, no, it was paying him back for the purchase of a truck that he purchased. So this whole thing has just gotten more and more ridiculous as it has gone on. And but apparently, Michael Johnson, not the runner, but the Speaker of the House, is talking about really pushing forward for a vote on impeachment of Biden.
Yeah. Can we talk for a second about the bank of Joe Biden? I mean, his brother was paying back a loan, and there was a loan payment, a check of $200,000. And now Hunter's paying back a loan. Um,
What was the first loan that you said? I missed that.
his Joe Biden's brother, remember,
Yeah,
there was a check for $200,000, and his brother was paying back a loan.
yeah.
Because it said loan repayment on the on the
Memo
line, and
on the memo. Yeah,
on the memo line. That's right, and you know that whatever's on the memo line is absolutely 100% always accurate.
you can't
Um,
lie on the memo line. I mean,
no, no, no. I mean proof positive right there. But I'm like, what's going on with Joe Biden? He's just like a teller at a bank where he's just handing
yeah,
out money, like
yeah.
just
Welcome to Biden First National. Glad.
right.
Let me go talk to my supervisor and see if we can get you, see if we can get you this car loan. Well, this is what I'm getting at. Family members lend money to each other a lot. I've been on every side of it, all that stuff. Seen a lot of the contracts that are between the family members. The Bidens are keeping track. I'm just saying, like they're
Right.
not just.
Is there like a DocuSign, thing happening here? Like,
I'm
it's
not.
just, yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not
Yeah.
just helping out my brother, giving my kid a leg up because he's had a tough run because of the
Yeah.
divorce and the criminality that was
Yeah.
related to his addiction. And um, we're gonna get his name on that, and if need be, I'll take him to small claims court. I'm just telling you. I mean,
That's right. That's right.
like here's the thing about contracts. No matter what the contract is, whether it's a user agreement, whether it's the Constitution that you swore your oath to, it's only as good as its ability and willingness to be enforced. Right? That's
Mhm.
It's the only good a contract is. If you walk away from a contract and someone's just like, "Oh, just forget it," then that's that, right? If you just stop paying for your mortgage and the mortgage company just says, "I don't know, just whatever," then that's that, right? You know, they're not holding you to it. It's only if they hold you to it, which is the funny thing about any family contract, which we know we did with our kids when they were teenagers or something. Like, hey, we're gonna put this down in writing. We Now that I think about it, picking on the Bidens, we did that a lot, but it
Mhm.
wasn't because we wanted to enforce it. It's because our kids, who are now adults, had the ability to gaslight their mom and dad into that's not what we said. So,
Yes.
so we started writing this down. Like, hey, if there's any trickery going on, we're the ones changing the deal around here
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
promised.
Yeah.
So we had to
You
do
think
that.
you think Joe Biden was just saying, and I actually, as I think about this, I don't think it was Joe. Joe strikes me as the kind of guy that is just giving the money away.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, it'll be alright, it'll be alright." It's Jill.
Yeah. Jill is like,
Jill
hey,
think
hey,
Jill is behind the scenes going,
Joey, I'm
"Joe,
telling you, it doesn't
Joe,
help for us to get into this family discussion about the fact that you said that. Yeah. I'm with you.
Joe,
I can see it.
listen, if you're going to give him the money this time, if you're going to give your brother the money this time, if you're gonna do this again, you have to write it down.
Yeah.
Make a contract. Maybe that will get him to pay us back."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody around is saying, hey, let's
Oh,
knock
it's
off the
Jill.
malarkey. Let's knock off the malarkey. Hey, in
Yeah.
big news, as promised in the headline for this, which I don't never
Oh,
tell you what the headline is.
yeah,
Trump voter
yeah.
Liz Cheney has
Mhm.
decided that she regrets her choices. Doesn't say that, but now believes that if we elect Donald Trump in 2024, unlike when she voted for him in 2020, but if we vote for him in 2024, then we're going to see the end of the democracy. That he proved out the threats that he was making in 2020, which apparently she was comfortable enough with when he was claiming voter fraud and a fraudulent election before the election took place. And up to the day of the election, he was claiming it to be fraudulent. She voted for him. But after that, she's out. So now she's fully out, and she has a new book out called Oath and Honor, Honor and Oath, Oath and Honor, something like that. A memoir and a warning. And I heard her interviewed last night and a little bit of it this morning. Have you followed any of this new book that she has out?
No.
Can I
All right.
recap a bit? Can I
Oh,
recap a bit
please.
for you?
Oh, absolutely. I would
now
love
look,
a recap.
I'm still not over the fact that she voted for Donald Trump in 2020. After having watched him do what he did,
Mhm.
she said, yep, you're getting my support.
Yep.
Publicly supported him. Many of the people that she writes about in her book, she writes about the behaviors of those people before the election in 2020, including Donald Trump,
Mhm.
and still voted for him. So I'll just say her judgment may not always be as accurate as it is sometimes. So perhaps she's more trustworthy now. I'd like that to be the case. And look, it's fine. People change their minds. We all have different points at which we say, now I'm in, right?
Yep.
You're at the point in the auction when you just finally put your hand down and say, I can't go any further. Because we've all, been in high pressure auction situations. So I thought that would be a really great metaphor for us to understand. She's now out.
Mm-hmm.
And as I heard Rachel Maddow say it last night, proverbially taking no prisoners. She is, to borrow a phrase from last night, stripping the bark off of Kevin McCarthy and Michael Johnson and telling stories and just going at these people and
Yeah.
telling stories and then making some editorial comments about them that is devastating
Yeah.
if anyone spoke of someone that way, you'd be like, that is full on attack mode.
Yeah, we're
So
expecting that to come from George Santos, but instead it's coming from Liz Cheney.
from Liz Cheney, and she is moving, aggressively in a very long and detailed book that is trying to send this warning, and her warnings are more dire than anyone I've heard. She is saying if Donald Trump is elected president, it's her opinion that he will not leave the presidency willingly, even after his term is done. She is describing the way he will put together partners in his administration that will simply do the things that other people resisted doing in his first term. So that's her pitch. That's her. Somehow she didn't think he would do that between 2021 and 2024, but somehow she awakened, or somehow Trump changed, or something. I still truly can't reconcile how you go from one thing to the other. But anybody who's in her position and needs to get on the Cheney train, and you were a Trumper all the way up until and through the election, and maybe all the way up until January 6th, or maybe all the way up until December 5th, 2023, any point you need to get off the train, feel free. And I'm not your therapist, but spend a little time thinking about why you were so supportive of someone for whom now you've awakened in your woke state to seeing that they're a problem. I mean, that's just a suggestion for human flourishing more than a political demand. But the question for me is, will Liz Cheney's vocal and specific calls help 2% of Republican voters in Wisconsin, 2% in Michigan and in Pennsylvania, 3% in Georgia, and 1.5% in Arizona, to say she's now a permission giver enough? Not a lot, not everybody, maybe even a rounding error level of people.
Yeah,
but
that's
just
interesting.
enough where people are like, okay, look, I mean, I know they kicked her out because I didn't follow all that stuff, and she kind of turned on the party, but holy moly,
Yeah,
honey,
I feel
let's
like
just let's not support him anymore. I mean, I've been a Cheney person, like that. Is there enough? Is there 1 to 3%? Can I see that hand?
I feel like the people that would be persuaded by Liz Cheney have already been persuaded by Liz Cheney. I think there is, I don't know if it's 1%, it might be a 0.5%. My sense is that what this could do is help those people from coming home, as they say, returning to vote for, Donald Trump as the Republican nominee. Maybe they'll be persuaded, like, oh, when he picks Nikki Haley as his vice president, which I don't think he's going to, but if he, oh, well, she'll even him out and it'll be all right. And, so maybe they come back for that. Maybe this keeps that from happening, but my sense is that the people that would have been persuaded by Liz Cheney to abandon their Trump support, that happened through the January 6th show, and the hearings, and this book probably isn't going to make that difference.
Well, that's probably right.
I don't know.
But I do think there's enough. I'm surprised at the number of Trump supporters and people generally, but specifically Trump supporters.
Full stop.
I'm surprised
by the number,
I'm surprised at the
Trump
number of people. I'll just stop there. I'm surprised at the number of people. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
And also surprised at the number of people who really don't keep up on any of this.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that Liz Cheney has turned against Trump. Like, I agree with you. If someone knows where Liz Cheney is on this, that if they are going to be persuaded by Liz Cheney as a trusted source, they're already persuaded.
Mm-hmm.
But is there a percentage, 1%, 2%, 3%, who are not familiar with where Liz Cheney is on this? Because to our degree we believe that people watch the January 6th thing, but man, the number of people for whom that thing came and went, and they were busy doing their summer stuff and whatever.
But
and it was a long time ago. And
would those people know who Liz Cheney is?
I think so. That's what I'm getting at. So, I guess, I guess I'm whittling this thing down.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're trying to find the 70,000 people that will keep Donald Trump from being reelected as president,
spread out between 5 states.
Of the United States.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's like if somebody says, and there was actually a study done of this, and there was a show called This American Life put out by American Public Media, and they had a great bit on this with a statistician he was at MIT as a college student, and he was like, the chances of meeting someone and falling in love and getting married and staying together for the rest of your life is impossible statistically. And then he's like, what would the chance, where am I going to meet someone? Well, if I didn't meet him in high school already, maybe I'm going to meet him in college. So now we've taken the entire world population and shrunk it down to people I'm going to run into in college. And then it's only half of those people because it's only the gender that I would be comfortable marrying. And then, and you get to a statistical 0. And then they go, and yet it only took 1. And over and over and over, it keeps this statistical impossibility keeps happening. Hey, another example of this. I don't know if you know, but I've been on a little rampage for, not rampage, a little tirade for 10 or 15 years about a couple things that nobody listens to me about. First, the danger of consumption of fish. And secondly, pedestrians walking through parking lots and backing up. And I'm like, we need to stop and figure out our parking lots where you never have to back up and no one is ever walking behind your car while you're potentially backing up with a baby.
Yeah.
The situation of a parking lot should have, we should all have stories about, well, you never did get to know your Uncle Ed because he was walking through the Walmart parking lot and was struck by a car backing up.
Like, shockingly, most of us don't have that story.
We don't, none of us do. If you described what happens in a parking lot,
I wouldn't say none of us.
No one I know. Like, true, a few cars have been hit that I know of. I don't know anyone who's been struck in a parking lot. So my like parking lots are inherently dangerous because just on the face of them, they can't make any sense. You have
Yeah.
people backing, even before there were cameras in the back of some cars, people just backing up, like, and somebody's walking behind it and they got their hood up and its wind is blowing and it's crazy. So here's the statistical thing that should happen that never does. Falling in love with someone and finding your life happily with them is statistical impossibility. It happens all the time. All that back to my hope on Liz Cheney. Is there a subset of a subset of a subset of people? Are there 3,000 people scattered across Wisconsin who didn't pay much attention, know who Liz Cheney is, are going to start to focus, and when Trump's trials come up, they're going to be like, yeah, but Liz was right. And I'm just, that's my guess. This is like
Yeah.
micro
Yeah.
influence,
Yep.
little bits and pieces, because as you say so well, somewhere between 50 and 100,000 people spread across 4 to 5 states are going
Yep.
to be the ones who make this determination.
Mhm.
And the places in those states are also very refined
Yeah.
as to who those people are. And or could they hold steady? Could she keep people who didn't vote for Trump in 2020 from going back? Like it's enough of a reminder. I don't know. But wouldn't it
Yeah.
be a kick in the pants if the person who ultimately, is a big part of all of this is Liz Cheney?
That would be amazing.
Trump voter, 2-time Trump voter,
Mhm.
that she become the one. I mean, that's just a redemption story worthy of a podcast comment. Hey, we really buried the lead on this one. Literally, the lead to the headline is, can Liz Cheney help stop Donald Trump or something like that?
Yeah.
And I wrote the headline for it. We waited until we were in an hour and 6 minutes. I mean, that's how you do it, friends. If you wanted to keep people to the end for watch hours on your social media streams, that's how you do it.
Yep.
But Alex and Kimberly and Carol and all the rest, they're here not
Old
because
man Jim.
we stalled them out.
Jim. Just throwing out Diane.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through, seeing if I can find their comments, if there's anything else putting up. But now with your level of
Curly
sensitivity,
Prepper.
I need to be a little careful when I pop up on the screen. By the way, you did get a nice apology from Squirrely Prepper. So
Yeah.
not
Somebody else thinks
enough.
I'm fat though. Not that,
Oh,
Somebody else and Carol Ann thinks I'm putting on weight.
I'm putting on weight. Huh. Yeah, there might be a time in life where, you can be like, I know how to put on weight. I can.
Carol Ann, listen, I'm a Gen Xer, and at this point in life, people just begin to, hold more poundage than they had previously. That's a
Poundage.
normal thing that happens. I'm having less sex than I had in.
Just because you're a Gen Xer.
Yeah, my knees hurt. I've got a weird pain in my wrist that it has no explanation. I have this bump in my elbow that my doctor that I've had MRIs on, and nobody knows what it's all about. It's ridiculous.
I think about the people on the podcast version who didn't see this little comment that slid by an hour and 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, when just coming for those who didn't see it, just right out of the gate, like one of the first comments this morning, Carol Ann says, "Don't want to spoil your holidays, but putting on weight lately, Rob? Aren't you, Rob?" Like
I don't want to spoil your holidays. Oh, that's a great line, Carol. Oh, Carol, you might be receiving a cameo from George Santos. Precious, precious, precious. Carol Ann, always welcome for your comments, regardless of what they are.
Body shame me anytime. That's what I'm here for.
Hey, to all of you who are part of all of this, thanks. Tomorrow's live stream podcast might be a version of what I'm recording today. The tables are turned. I'm the guest on a podcast. I'm a guest on 2 different podcasts today, but one of them I know they won't let me air on our channel before they aired on theirs. And I don't know if it would even fit, but the other one might be appropriate for this. So that might be what happens tomorrow. And then Thursday, if this is only for people listening to it right now, on the 5th of December, or I guess the 6th, Thursday, astrophysicist, pastor, birder, Professor Paul Wallace and I will be talking about the skies and important things that go on in the world of astrophysics. Is that good? We got anything else? Anybody else in the chat have things we need to be considering? You did get a great haircut though, Rob.
My next haircut's scheduled for Friday.
No explanation. Yeah. Again, Rob is a man of scheduled haircuts, which is something I've always admired about people who can do such a thing. Like, no, I can't meet a week from Thursday. I'm getting a haircut. Like, wow, it's excellent. Yeah. Excellent. I'm like, I don't have time right now. Should I go right now? Like maybe if I open up my Great Clips app, maybe I can see if the wait is less than 9 minutes and I can get over there. I could get that. Nope, I'll wait 3 weeks. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to do a couple podcasts and off to Walmart and see if I can pick up a new flannel.
Excellent.
And Rob, happy holiday. Happy holidays.
December 5th.
Happy holidays. Okay, everybody, bye.